I grew up on the Southside in the Harlandale area. Both of my parents were blue-collar workers. I grew up on the Southside during the 60s and the 70s. On my parents' side and my mom's side, dating back to my grandparents, we always owned our own little piece of land in Texas. No matter how humble it was, we were always homeowners, not renters. I guess my happy memories were at Harlandale High School. Back then, we had no air conditioning in our schools, so you knew the teachers that taught there were really great and dedicated. Because I remember when we had our first high school reunion, we all got together and we asked like, hey, is your mom still over on Weinberg or on Pyron? And it was then that I discovered that they were renting all those years. So they were no longer there because either they sold the house or they had to move in a family member. So that really drilled into me how important it is to own your own home. You know, I worked at a real estate office in 1990 as an office manager, not as a realtor. And I stayed there for 5 years, and then I had an opportunity to work for my first broker. And he's the one that asked me if I'd be interested, you know, in pursuing a career in real estate. And it was a perfect time. It was 1995, and I decided, yeah, it would be something that I'd like to do. The interest rate back then was about 8.5%. There was hardly anyone working this part of town, and the real estate offices that were open were not minority owned, so they really didn't understand the Hispanic consumer. Well, the number one change is back in the 90s, 99 when I first was here, there were no new home subdivisions here at all. Now, today, there's new homes in the Southwest, South Central, Southeast. There's new homes, there's older homes that have been rehabbed. There's a lot more opportunity now than there was 20 years ago. One of the very first new home subdivisions was located off of South Zamora subdivision called Lago Vista. Mr. Henry Cisneros played an important part in that subdivision, and that was in the early 2000s. The future looks even better. You know, we've got all kinds of new apartments, new subdivisions, a lot of development, a lot of big businesses coming down here. The Southside is really an untapped resource. The Palo Alto College was a great catalyst in this part of town. Of course, Texas A&M, the Toyota plant, you know, Brooks City Base, the list goes on and on. The Southside is only getting better. What I like is the development of the older neighborhoods. I don't want, you know, obviously the original people, you know, forced out, but I see any new home that's updated as a plus for our older neighborhoods. The Southside has a lot of great neighborhoods, and that's what I want to get out there. Great places to live, great people. We know our neighbors. It's a great community. I liked being one of one. I liked serving this community. It was almost like helping my mom and dad all over again. It's just a part of town that needs help, that needs to be represented, and the majority of my realtors that work here are from the Southside. They grew up here, they love this part of town, and that's why we want to continue to work here and invest in this part of town. You know, I was a single mother. I had 3 small children, and I was in real estate. These were the days before GPS. So Sarah was my map book person. Rachel would remember the combination, and Carlos would say, are we going to eat lunch soon? And so they kind of grew up in the business. I didn't think that they would wind up wanting to be in the business, but I was blessed, and I do have all of my family working with me, and they're going to take it to the next level. That's one of my greatest accomplishments. I hope to start my 21st year in our new office. You know, it's created a buzz. People pass by and they're like, is that your new building? And it's like, I'm more excited than they are. I just can't wait to open it up and start taking our business to the next level and promoting our part of town.